Hey, this is Topher right here at Geek Public Radio. And yes, it looks a little different because this is our at home thing. We made it all the way through the pandemic and still did studio stuff, but now we're stuck at home. So we're going to be getting into a whole lot of stuff doing it this way, and hopefully you guys can dig it and have fun. Don't mind the animals running behind me, but we're going to be talking about WoW and Netflix losing subscribers. We're going to be talking about ScarJo being blackballed from Disney. We're going to talk about Tesla robots, Fallout Worlds, Valheim, Hearth and Home, and a lot more right here on Geek Public Radio. All right, so we're here.
What's up, everybody? We're live. We're going live. We're going live. All right, sorry. All right, we're good. Sorry. I was
So
gonna
yeah,
pretend
this
like
is
I was
the
sick.
at-home edition.
Hey, everybody. That's why my camera sucks. I'm sorry. Usually, I'm framed a lot better. I look a lot prettier. We have a great technician in the studio who usually handles all that, but yeah, he's not here, so
No, I'm over here.
that's why his camera looks great. Mine looks like crap, but yeah, one of the purchases we make. Hoping everybody's having a good time. We're just trying some different stuff, like the man said. I am crazy, Chris, and I am happy to be a part of the show, man. Let's get going.
All right, so let's just talk about the Tesla robots first. Let's get into some fun stuff. We'll sprinkle in some of the because all my stuff is like Debbie Downer stuff.
Right, so we're
And
gonna do a
we'll do
compliment
one of
Big Mac.
yours, and we'll do one of yours, one of mine, one of yours, one of mine, one of yours.
We're gonna do a positivity Big Mac, right? So we're gonna start
Yeah.
with Tesla working on their brand new AI robot. All right, so this is according to Engadget. Okay, Marie reporting. I'm sorry, yeah, Mariella Moon reporting. She says that Tesla is building a humanoid robot simply called the Tesla bot. Elon Musk has revealed at the automaker's AI Day event. So their goal apparently is to create an artificial intelligence robot that looks bizarrely like the Starman from Earthbound. And the goal is to have it do subservient human tasks like wash the dishes, go collect the groceries, things like that. So this in no way can possibly go wrong. This is going to be perfect. I don't foresee anybody trying to engage in an unsavory activities with these robots. Not at all. I don't see anything bad happening. What about you, Topher? You see, this is going to go off without a hitch. I would imagine that this is going to be absolutely perfect, right?
Yeah, no, like
Okay.
I can quite literally. No, they already make bots for things,
That
and
are apparently so realistic. I have one. They're so realistic. She just wants to be friends, right?
right. So yeah, no, there's no merging of those things that are ever going to happen.
But can you
No.
imagine if we could and have it perform household tasks? Men and women will become obsolete.
Hmm.
You don't need anybody to drive you around because Tesla's got a self-driving car. Now you'll have a automated artificial intelligence companion. We're going to call them companions because I feel like
Well, I wouldn't mind the
Firefly is really
Jarvis
classy.
house. You
I have a real problem with Alexa. I don't want Jarvis in my house either.
well, no. What I'm saying is, in that sense, is something that can't be intruded in from the outside, can't be whatever. Something that just helps function in the house.
I think it would be cool. I mean, we'll have to see where this goes, but
Now, with Alexa and the Google Nest and all of the other stuff, where everything's recorded and
yeah,
all of that stuff. And if
yeah.
somebody slips up and says something, it does weird sounds in the thing, and it makes people like, "What the fuck was that?"
Or like Alexa, order the Black Book by Topher Chambers. I hope that hundreds and thousands of Alexas just started doing that. That'd be great.
That would be awesome.
All right. Anyways, Alexa, confirm. Sorry, go ahead.
So giant robots.
Yeah. Well, they're not giant, so they're 5'8" and they're 125 pounds. And Elon Musk has assured us that very likely we could easily overpower and outrun them. So they pose no clear danger
now until they start making themselves better bodies.
Robots building robots, baby.
I mean
we
already do that.
We already have that.
Said like technically no, that literally is in this industry right now.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, sorry. To be fair, the difference between a robot and artificial intelligence. This is not a robot. By definition, this is an android.
It'd be a mandroid.
Yep. Because it's a simulacrum of humanity versus an actual autonomous construction that like builds a certain thing. That's what a robot does. So robots are like little control arms that like stamp at the assembly line, and then they move on, and then they stamp, and then they move on, and they stamp. Like that's literally what a robot does. So this is an artificial intelligence, technically an android, but they can't call it that because Google's like, no, you can't have it. We copyrighted a common word.
Just like Disney and their copywriting Loki and Thor and like a whole bunch of stuff out of a religion.
Yeah,
we covered that before.
Like I kind of want to copyright Jesus. I'm going to be a millionaire. Like every Bible manufacturer on the planet's like skirt. Wait a minute.
Weirder things have happened because H.P. Lovecraft, his actual image is copyrighted by somebody for T-shirt apparel, which I didn't know you could copyright or trademark a living person who was in the public domain.
We need to look into some things, bro.
No, quite literally, we had T-shirts kicked back saying that it was somebody
copyrighted imagery.
Huh. And I was like, first of all, that image, we paid for that image, yada yada yada. Here's the actual designer, and they said, well, no, they hold the copyright for apparel or whatever. And I'm like, how do you have a copyright over an individual who died in the 20s or 30s?
Right. And all of his
today was his birthday, by the way. Like the day that we're recording this is
happy birthday, H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, so, great master of horror literature.
So tonight I am rounding out my night on Shudder with whatever Lovecraft.
I might watch The Mouth of Madness when we finish this. I don't know. All right, so such a good one. So speaking of absolutely ridiculous ideas, Netflix is in trouble, I hear.
Yes. So Netflix has been reported, both Blizzard and Netflix have been
which one do you want to yell at first?
Well, let's go ahead because I was going to lump them two together as a show of like people are getting away from what we thought like was to quote some economic stuff is too big to fail. Like they were just the big monsters they were the bulls in the China shop that would come through.
Hey, every giant is a single pebble away from death.
So
or is it
Netflix
five? No, I think it's. Let me requote that. I believe it's every giant is 5 stones from death. I think is what it was. That it was an old weird Jewish adage, and I don't remember what it is. But anyways, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So Netflix has posted that they have lost 400,000 subscribers in one quarter. That's not what they lost in the quarter before that or whatever, or they gained. They are for the first time since 2017. I want to say when they lost 100,000 people. They are actually showing that they're losing numbers and You got to think about it at 14 bucks a person. 14 bucks a person, 400,000 people just dropped off. What are they, what did they just lose, you know?
$560,000. That's almost $500,000 a month. I
Well, they
mean,
lost, it was almost a half a million people that they lost times 14.
that was. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's a bunch. So $7 million.
Roughly 5.6, $5.7 million.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, at $14 a month by
it's like
five, so you just divide
14.99.
it in
So
half.
15
You
bucks.
just divide it in half. Literally, it's 7 million.
So
That's a lot
it's
of money.
right. I mean, they boast 200, or what was it, like 2 billion people on subscribers. So like a half a million isn't huge, but when you look at the numbers of like how much money they lost, 5.67 5 to $7 million worth of losses is
A lot,
going to be hard for any business, no matter how big. So
especially
you're
because
gonna
that's a reliant income. That's that falls into their that's an economic boom. Like that's a bang for real. Like that is something that they rely on each and every single month as part of their budget, right? That's something they
yeah.
allot for when they pay their programmers, when they pay their executives,
Right. No, no, no. Just
when they
think.
beat the crap out of their interns, right? That's all.
We'll just say on the low end that 5 million. So that's $5 million a month that they are losing. So in one quarter, they
15 million.
lost. Yeah.
$15 million and the 60 million over the course of a year. That's if you're $100 million company, you just lost half your revenue.
Right.
That's a huge hit.
Well,
Because,
I
like I
mean,
said,
they
it's
they
reliant.
do rock in the billions of people. So you're looking at like hundreds of billions of dollars that get brought into that
Mhm.
company a month. So I mean, I guess for people like us, the scale is like, wow, what Jesus, like $5 million is a lot of money to be, a month to be out. But if you're still bringing in
Yeah,
$10 billion, $100 billion in revenue a month, you
you and
know,
your phone, man. It's like three shows
right?
in a row.
Give me
No, you're
the
fine. But to be quite honest, like you said, that's to people like us on the small end. And by the way, I special message while you're dealing with all that. To all of you WoW subscribers out there, you can actually become a member of geekpublicradio.com and get access to all kinds of cool stuff that Blizzard doesn't even begin to offer you. What, you going to play a stupid game? Pfft, screw that. Come over to geekpublicradio.com for $5 a month, and you can actually get yourself an awesome selection of horror movies, access to all of our private videos. We might even shout you out on the show. We could nestle you a nice little spot like right up here in the corner and be like, special thanks to this person. All kinds of cool stuff and goodies that you could actually be qualified for at a fraction of the price that you were paying for your WoW subscription. You were giving them money. Give us money. Help me buy a new camera so I don't look as grainy and you can see every horrific detail up close and personal. Don't you want that? Don't you? $5 a month, guys. So check us out, geekpublicradio.com. And as always, make sure you click the like button, smash that like button, click subscribe, ring the little notification bell so you guys get alerted every single time that we do a live or whenever we go to any type of function that you guys can check that out. And of course, Days and Nights Books, thanks you guys so much for continuing to sponsor our show. We greatly appreciate it. Blackbookmovie.com. And also August 28th, for those of you who are in the local area, we're going to be having a kick-ass show, a movie screening of the Black Book, totally for free. August 28th, Tickman Town Center in beautiful downtown Anderson. So that's something worth checking out if you guys are in the central Indiana area, or even if you're out of town, you just want to come by and say hello. We got Mr. Ari Lehman that's in the movie. We've got Manny Carter, an Emmy Award winner. We've got all kinds of great actors and actresses in that movie. So you guys definitely want to come check that out. Don't want to miss it. So August 28th, Black Book in the Park. So check it out. Shameless plug. Ha 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 ha. Squeezed it in. Anyways, back to Blizzard. Can't hear you, buddy.
Ah, I was coughing. I was trying not to like overpower the thing, and I forgot to click it back on. Um, that's the one bad part about not being in studio.
Yeah.
Uh, not having all the fancy buttons on the
Yeah, the
thing. I
volume
just
control is a little different for sure. So if we're
yeah
overpowering you guys, we apologize. We're new to this particular software, so we're just trying new stuff because it's fun.
yeah like we have all of the fancy stuff at the studio, and we're not used to the stuff that other people use.
Not at all. This stuff's pretty cool though. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty neat.
I
So
mean,
yeah,
being able to do the show like without having to go, you
right.
know,
Yeah, again, I've been under the weather. You have been absolutely bombed with a variety of things, and so it's better this way. We don't have to fuss with the studio stuff. We'll be back in studio. Like it's not like we're never going to be in the studio. Like we are, but we just wanted to make sure
yeah,
that
no,
we
I
got
pay
some
way too
content
much a
to you.
month for that thing to not be there.
Right. Um, so yeah, Blizzard is hemorrhaging some money because it's Blizzard. And that's what Activision Blizzard does. They're terrible people. They do terrible things, and the people have spoken. The people are speaking
Right.
out, and that's what they should do. I
So,
I support them.
this was based on I don't know. This is bad on me for bringing it up and not having all of the facts in front of me. But according to a Bellular video that popped into my news feed today, he walked through the list of all of the stuff, the criteria for judging how many people are on. Uh, Active subscribers and stuff because Blizzard has stopped promoting, you know, their actual numbers anymore. Like they're no longer like top of the food chain, so they just stop saying, "Oh well, yeah, no, yeah, we have subscribers, we're good." They're showing that they're they can price somebody or they can sell mounts and boosts and tokens and all of this other stuff and still keep revenue coming in and milking the player base to keep money coming in. However, the numbers are appearing that are appearing is less than 2 million subs.
That's crazy. Like when you put all that together, that's nuts.
I mean, because if you look at the numbers, only so many what he went through was like looked at how many people were part of covenant stuff and doing whatever right now in retail, and how many people like the difference between that, and extrapolated that out, and then he went to rating like the rating bosses and all of the other stuff, and like how many people have cleared different raids and the percentage of all that, and then basically broke that all down and said, it's somewhere around like 1.8 million or whatever. I mean,
That's
that's still a lot of number, but it's not. They're down 50%.
that's yeah. And I mean, we could go on about Blizzard all day long because the way that they handle their business is absolutely asinine to me, and their continued. It's almost like this blind trudge where they just continue to push forward no matter what pushback they get. They're just like, we're going to trudge through the mud, even though we're just hemorrhaging subscribers. We're just going to keep moving and not stop to think about what we're doing. Like they're almost brainless autopilots at this point, and they're worse than the Tesla Autobots. Ooh, that's what I'll call them. I'll call them Autobots because it was displayed at the auto show. That's what they are. They're Autobots. Perfect. There you go. You heard it right here. Geek Public Radio first, 10:33 p.m. on 8/20/2021. I said Autobots. That's my joke. Copywritten. All content is copywritten by
Trademark.
Geek Public. Trademark. But from Blizzard
Excuse me.
to Bethesda, a tale of two companies, right? We've got Fallout Worlds coming out here. All right. Now, Fallout Worlds is not a new game. Instead, it actually takes the private server function of the Fallout First membership from Fallout 76 and expands upon it. So it's actually kind of this cool thing. This might actually get you involved a little bit more with the Fallout. You might come back now.
Oh no, I
Because
haven't. I still play, but we're on different platforms, so we can't play together.
well, Fallout Worlds is going to blend some things together. They're not bringing in cross compatibility or anything like that, but they are allowing you with a Fallout First membership to set the conditions and rules in your own private server. So, you want to have nothing but legendary spawns? Cool. You want to have unlimited ammo? Cool. You want to have God mode? Cool. It's essentially you're going to have developer mode. You want to have unlimited space in your workshop? Cool. All kinds of neat things and rules that they're going to allow you to apply in Fallout War and Fallout First and the private server world. Now, they'll still have publics, they'll still have events and things like that you can participate in,
Right, because
but it
didn't
will
they
not
used to have,
count.
or didn't it be? Wasn't everything mostly private servers anyway?
No,
Before, like I could
no,
hop
they've
on and play, and I wasn't really bothered by anybody.
so they have two different servers. So they have adventure mode, and then they have the private mode, right? And the private one is where you'll actually be able to you can host up to 8 players that can join your world, but teams of 4, which kind of always bothered me. Like if I'm in a private world, why can't I have teams of 8? Well, apparently they're going to try to fix that. So now you can have a team of 8 and your private world and actually go and do like ridiculously cool things like go kill the Scorch Beast Queen with your friends instead of relying on a public server to do that. Now, the public servers, their subscriber counts still relatively low because if you have 76, you get to play the adventure mode for free. So you don't have to
Right.
subscribe to Fallout First. I do just because the things that you have access to, I think, is cooler. Like you get some cool perks for it, but that's just me. But they did a really good job over this past year and some change kind of forcing players, kind of honestly at first really against my will because the grief and stuff in 76 was kind of bad at first. But they did a pretty good job of pushing people together and making cooperative team events where they added a new raid, 2 new raid bosses. But they're of course because players are players, they figured out ways to exploit the new rules, and now there are things that are like ridiculously overpowered. Somebody one shot the Scorch Beast Queen, literally shot her once while she was spawning in the crater or in the rift. All right, not rift. In the I can't think of the word now. Now my brain's just like anyways, while she was coming out of the rift, that's what I'm gonna call it. As she was coming up, he shot her once and killed her. One shot. Insta killed the Scorch Beast Queen, which is a raid boss that usually takes about 10 to 15 players to kill. So there's some exploits that people are definitely taking advantage of. But overall, I mean, that's super rare. Most people are really cool about it, especially the older seasoned players, veterans, level 4, 500. And they have so much stuff that they'll go to the raid, they'll shoot the boss a few times so they get the XP when people kill it. And if time starts winding down, they'll pump in a couple more shots to drop it lower. But for the most part, they just kind of sit back and let the younger guys, younger players, get in there and get their XP, get their loot and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Fallout Worlds is going to add I think a very unique dimension to the way the game is played, and I'm really excited to see it. I think that launches. I want to say it's October. It might even be September. I think. Oh no, actually it is. It's September 9th. It'll be launching. So. That'll be something worth checking out. So if you guys play Fallout 76 or you have gone away from it for a little while, come back, play Steel Dawn, the Reign of Steel, the new DLCs that dropped. They're kind of fun stories, deciding the fate of the Brotherhood. And then on top of that, we're going to have Fallout Worlds on private servers. So if your friends get a Fallout First membership, you can join them and you guys can set your own rules and your own conditions and just have a blast. Just play Fallout as goofy as you want, and as game breaking as you want, no consequence. So yeah, check it out. I'm actually really excited for it. Sounds like
That
fun.
sounds awesome.
Yeah. So now
So
we
much
go.
so that I'm actually been contemplating. We are a split household. I run Xbox for a lot of stuff,
And
and
the missus runs the PS4.
yes. So I was kind of playing like she's been PC like for the last 6 months only. Like she hadn't played the PS4. So I was thinking about bringing it down and hopping on and purchasing 76 for that platform as well.
See, and it's
And
fun, and it's cool. And split households can lead to some very interesting rivalries. An Xbox versus PlayStation couple, the couple that fights about gaming together stays together. So
right.
I made that up too. That's also copywritten. But speaking of split households, Netflix is in they're in quite a pickle. They've done some dumb, and I was looking at this, and according to Breitbart, 500,000 subscribers for Netflix have bailed out.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Like 500,000 people.
And the price, by the way, domestically rose from $14.99 to $17.99. So that was the price even went up. The price went up, and people are like, "Nope, bye." So yeah, split households, and Netflix is splitting apart too. So that's Blizzard and Netflix just doing the dumb. Like I wanted to look at it because you were talking about it. And I was like, "Is it really that much?" Like, there's no way. There's no way that's right. So I looked it up, and I'm like, "Yep." I fact checked in real time because I don't need no Facebook bot to do it for me. I don't need YouTube being like, this is technically, this is fake, and that no, 500,000 people. That's insane, absolutely insane. But speaking of PC, so I just wanted to confirm that it is 500,000 people, and they jacked up their prices, and their content is getting kind of crappy. Their original content is usually really good, and their content's just
Right,
it's
like
been bad
when
lately.
you lose $5 to $7 million,
Yeah,
that's the budget for one season.
pretty much. So that's an original show that's probably going to get canceled now because of that. But speaking of PC, because you said the missus likes to play the PC, and I know you have been tangling on it, playing Blessed, not Blessed. Yeah, was it Blessed? I can't Unleashed.
Blessed
Blessed
Unleashed.
Unleashed. Yep.
Yeah.
And I've also caught you playing some Valheim recently too.
Yeah, no, like that I love building stuff. So
The
having
mechanics
the
are really cool.
so like I found an island that was fit my purposes, and I'm trying to build
I love how you found an
Stormwind.
island.
Well, I mean, you got to find the right terrain because it's
Yeah.
too rocky, then it's hard to flatten, and and I wanted to butt this up against a mountain so it would look like Stormwind.
Nice. I just
And
carved a hole in a mountain and built my base.
but so I'm in the middle of doing that. But my current castle, I went down to the Ashlands and started set up a thing down a portal to down there, and
Oh,
so I
that's right.
can
I
just
forgot they released that. The new terrains are
yeah
out. Yeah.
yeah.
I need to
So
get
I
back in
can
there.
go down there, and you can literally just farm the sportling cores or whatever they are, like off of the creatures that are down there.
Nice. The
Every single one of them
Cirtling
drops.
cores, I think is what they're called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are fun.
So now I have like a ton of them because I just go down there, mine, farm that. Then I hit the other portal to the snow areas that have a lot of silver and a lot of the other. And so I'm pulling that out.
Did they finally update it to where you could take the silver through the gates?
No.
Yeah. So you gotta. I keep 3 ships parked in different places. So
Yeah, no, I have 3 ships in each spot in case I need to. That way I can just go back and forth. Like, oh well, I'll jump to this one, bring the
yep,
boat back, and then be like, crap, I have to
yep.
jump back. And I was like, okay, well, I have no more boats, so let's go back and start ferrying boats back to the other
See,
place.
my goal is to actually like build a ring of docks, right? Big old ring. So I just go from port to port to port to port, and that way I get in a new boat. So at any one time, there's always a third boat, right? But everyone has 2, so there's always a third boat circling, right? So I just keep going this way, and then I pick up what I got to pick up, and I load my hold, and just keep going all the way around. And that way, if it sinks, I'm like, oh, okay, that sucks. I'm not too far away from my next port. I'll be all right.
Like traveling has cost me so much time that I've contemplated just engaging console just so I can teleport myself from one location to the other to cut out the amount of time that it takes to get on board the boat, sail, avoid the Leviathan and all the other
Oh, the
big
sea serpents. The sea serpents don't
yeah.
even bother me anymore. I'm like I welcome it because I love the serpent meat. I welcome them. Like I'll circle around. Like if I see one in the distance, I'm like I'm gonna go chase him down. Here we go. Like I will go chase it down and fight it because I'm
Well,
an
no,
idiot.
I will fight it. I'll do whatever. But sometimes when you're just like, I need to get this, like
Yeah.
I've broken my silver sword, which is the one that I found is like that does the most damage as a sword.
It It's the most useful. It's not the most damaging, but it is definitely the most useful.
So like I was like, oh crap, I gotta fix this or I gotta do that or
Mhm.
I want to do whatever. So I'm great. Stop getting in my way. Get out.
I started using that, and then not Mjolnir. There's another one. It's the big Warhammer type thing. And I started using that, and it's so fun because I'm a heathen. But I like
the
using that one.
I did go buy the belt so I can carry more.
You've been playing all this time with no belt.
No, no, no.
Like
I bought the belt. I bought the
soon as
belt
I
as soon as
figured
I
out
found him. As soon as I found him, that was one of the things that I did. I mined trolls until I could get enough
gold,
gold
yeah,
to get the belt.
and it's worth it because
But I haven't
it
been
goes from
back.
like
I don't.
what 300 to
like
400
honestly,
or
I don't
50,
remember
350.
what he has.
He does. He's the only place you can get the fishing pole and the bait. So you
Right.
have to go to him to get the bait. And so pretty much the only. Then he's got the mining helmet thing. I think it's called a dwarven circlet, and it's got the little mining lamp on the helmet, so you can actually see what you're doing in like some of the caverns. But I run my brightness so high most of the time because I I understand having a horror game set down really low, so like it's creepy, it's atmospheric or whatever. But I don't like running into walls. It's annoying. It completely defeat. Like, why am I playing a game in which I'm completely disoriented? It's not fun. Like, if I wanted to do that, I'd just play VR. I don't know. That's my opinion on it. But Valheim Hearth and Home, the new update expansion, whatever you want to actually call it, is I guess they're nerfing some food, and so they're making it to where you have to kind of plan your diet a little bit differently because a lot of
So
like
no more. So no more like being solo on like blood pudding and serpent stew
that's right,
and lox meat.
right. They basically nerfed my build because I was like,
Because that's
oh, I can have 350 health and 400 stamina. Okay.
because that's actually what I do. Like I have a stash of serpent meat that
Hmm.
I cook through, and then I have the portal to where all of the locks spawn,
Right.
and they still one shot me on occasion. Like they charge, boom, I'm dead. But
There's a
my
couple of them that can
my
do a
needle
lot of
arrows take
damage. Yeah.
needle arrows take pretty good care of those as long as I can stay away from them.
I try to hit them with the arrows, but I've figured out how to dodge a lot of the attacks because a lot of them are just pattern based. Like the biggest ones, the little green dudes. I can't the full
The
Fulmari or
furlings,
the Fulmari, I think is what they're called.
yeah,
Yeah, little elf, little goblin looking dudes. If they gang up on you, you're toast. Like I don't care how good you are, you'll get four or
right.
five of
That's
them.
why I like sitting back at a distance and just like
Yeah, that's
take, and then run.
yeah, 100%. Yep. I jump up on like big rocks and stuff. I always try to take out the giants first. They're berserkers. I try to take those out before anything. Because the little ones, I can jump up on a rock and I can usually hide from them, and
Mhm.
then just pick them off or wait for them to get bored and run away. Um, oh, and I'll give their AI a lot of credit. If they can't get to you, they just run away. Right. So I mean, it's like we can't fight you, so we're not going to let you just pick us off. We're going to scatter and do whatever.
Right.
But the I don't have a lot of issues with getting one shot anymore. Um, the only thing that because I killed all the bosses, all the available bosses. I killed them all, and I did it all solo. I didn't have any help with any of them. The
I
only
still
one,
have to figure out how to get in to join other servers. That's why I was looking at some of
well,
our server options
yeah,
that we have.
the issue that I have with joining a server is I have so much stuff built. You can join a server with your character, but you don't take any of your stuff with you. Like you don't. Let me phrase how I say this. You don't take your base with you. You have to build the base there. So you can go with equipment. I basically want to build a second character that is strictly for server to transfer over to a server. So that way I can, I have this, I have that. I can build a base on this server.
See, I
Team up
was
with people.
contemplating because we got the on on a Linode, we can
Yeah,
literally create a Valheim server
which I would love to do. The Geek Public
with
Radio Valheim server would be cool.
the mods that I've seen, we could literally turn that Valheim server into 1,000-person MMO
which would be super fun.
with
And then we charge people $5 a
everybody
month for geekpublicradio.com.
with everybody who was on it and doing whatever, being able to actually do and make an entire economy.
Yeah,
So like I don't want to go and do the locksmith thing, but Joe Schmo over here has a bunch of locksmith. I can come up and go. I'll give you a 500 gold for all of your locksmith,
right.
and then
And
just
that would,
trade it out.
yeah, and you could build an economy that way too. And that's the benefit to the server is that you can, and even just the public server setting, that's the benefit to it is for the longest time, I was just kind of like, what's all this gold for? Why do I need all this stuff? And then I was like, oh, so you can trade it. But the honest issue becomes a lot of the stuff you can just mine and get yourself. And
Right.
if
But
you
the
want to,
idea is if
but
you're
the
having a
gold,
goal and
but gold has no value to me. Like,
right.
and honestly, it actually has no value to anybody because
No, and
once,
that's what I'm saying is
yeah, once you buy your
but
stuff,
if you
you've
can
got it.
build the economy to where, say, like somebody has taken up the, because I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I could actually take a little spot and build my own shop,
Hmm.
and
And just keep it
you
stocked
know,
all the time.
and it'd be like, okay, well, here's all of my stuff, and say, okay, I will take 5 gold for a loaf of bread, or
Right.
a gold for a loaf of bread, or whatever the prices
Right.
is set. If you are hungry and you have stuff and you're trying to get this other thing done and you have extra gold that doesn't really, like, okay, well, I'll throw it to you.
Yeah.
Give me all of your loaves, yada yada yada. Here's your gold. Then I can take it to somebody else uh who is mining all of this stuff and say, like, I will buy all of your gold or all of your stuff for this much gold. And then they go to somebody else, and that's where, because we literally play with by ourselves, the gold literally is only for going down to the trader and getting bait and whatnot.
But that's what I'm saying. It the gold, your receipt of the gold, you having the gold does nothing for you. That's
Right,
that's
but
my point. Because if you're the economy's just weird in that game, and I feel like they need to add more stuff you have to use gold on. Then it
right,
would be
no, and,
worth
and
it.
I totally, because I literally have just a chest
Full of
full
gold. Yeah,
full of gold,
like that does nothing. It does nothing for me, and it won't do.
because I just
I could
happened to
be a
plant
jerk.
my ass in the middle of a spot that was just surrounded by trolls.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I did too. I had actually done the same thing, not on purpose, but it just kind of happened to end up that way. Um, but when I moved through, like, let's say that I end up having 500 locksmeat, right? Unlikely, but let's say I have a whole crap load of locksmeat. The issue becomes what is valuable enough for me to give up my locksmeat, and it's not gold because I don't need gold. So the
right,
idea
but
of
what?
having it that has the idea of having a tradable commodity that has no value once you've spent it on the trader is bizarre to me. It
Right. Well,
becomes a
which was what I'm
useless thing.
saying, like actually making it an MMO style thing, is the gold becomes something that has value only because you are able to trade it back and forth, and you're able to focus on doing what you want to do versus, okay, well, I've exhausted my wares at the moment, what I have at the moment. So I now have to go spend the rest of the day on here farming and mining and doing all of this other stuff. Whereas, like, well, crap, I need, if I had this and this, I could update all of my armor. I could do this. I can
Right,
just go over here and grab all of that for this gold that doesn't mean anything for me anywhere else. And
right.
that becomes a commodity, because then you can start trading that back and forth as
But the issue then becomes that it's at a certain point somebody's going to amass a, an absolute garbage pile of gold with
right.
nothing to do with it because they have everything. So you're essentially there's a cap. My point is there's a pinnacle. because there's nowhere for it to go outside of player trading. That
Right. Well, and that's
becomes
the
it
same way
becomes
with
a useless
any game
commodity.
economy, though. I mean, you have the person who,
Well,
like with
yes,
WoW, you have the person who's out there, and it gets to the point where you got millions and millions of gold.
yes, and
You
no.
literally can't. There's nothing to do
Yes
with
and
it.
no, but WoW has shops where you can buy armor
Right.
that
But if you have already
and the
got the
gold.
maximum gear,
Okay, hold on.
then
Let me explain this a different way. There's
it's the
infinite
same.
money. It, Valheim has infinite money.
Right.
There's
There
no
is no
cap.
scarcity.
So the there's no value to it. It has infinite money and zero application other than trading, which honestly I could just do without gold. I can look at you and say, "Hey, I'll give you 50 iron, but I need you to give me 40 locksmeat. Like I'll give you 50." So the trade of itself, because
Right. No,
literally if you
barter would
can't
still
trade with it,
exist.
right?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you can barter, but why would I waste my bartering on gold? I'll just give you something that you need and cut out the gold. There's no point to
Right.
have it. So that's my argument. If you have an infinite supply of something, it has no inherent value.
No, I totally
Which
get
is
that.
why the more people we get on Earth, the more worthless we become. Sorry, Team Thanos. Sorry, I had to throw that at one. That was fun. But yeah, but I'm still like, don't get me wrong, like I'm still excited about the prospect of it because I believe players would figure out a way to make it work, and somebody with a greater understanding of how economics would unfold could probably make that work. But I think the developer would be, um, it would be more beneficial if the developer would give the gold a final resting place. Like if you put a commodity in the game that I can earn an infinite amount of, like pretty much every game ever, but you give me a place where I can put it that will never be traded back. Like no one will ever get that again. That's how Fallout has actually balanced their economic system. I'll go back to Fallout 76 for a minute. And like in Fallout 4, Fallout 3, even New Vegas and things like that, um, you've got all of these cool things that you can purchase with caps. And because it's a single player game, you having a million caps isn't that big of a deal. It has no real game breaking mechanic at all. So not a big deal. But in 76, caps are easy to come by if you know where to look and you know how to farm. Nope. But there you go. Caps are easy to come by if you know where to look and know where to farm, right? So it's a system that's designed to reward you for trying, but you can only sell equipment to a vendor and you can only get back 1,400 caps a day. But you can buy from a vendor until you're blue in the face. And the return investment on those things. So if I spent 36 caps, the vendor does not now have 36 caps for me to buy back. They have a fraction of that. So it's like 8 or 9. They might get like 25% of their caps will come back to them from what I purchased. So you can't just keep trading. I can't sell them a bunch of crap and then like earn all my money back. I can't do that. So it keeps it honest, which keeps players from more or less it keeps players from jacking up the prices and being able to realistically sell their stuff. So to sell to
Right.
players, you have to put a realistic price on it or people won't buy it because caps are hard to come by. So I think Valheim would benefit from a system like that.
See, I think
Give us a place
what
to
it
put our
is
gold.
since it was early access, they may have had plans for like what the gold is going to be,
Sure.
and literally like, okay, this is going to be useless. Let's just go ahead and pop the trader in, and give them something to spend their money on,
Which was
uh,
great. It's useful.
while we figure out or to to get to the point where we can implement the other systems that
I
we
have a
have.
functioning economy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in a game like Valheim, the premise of it makes it difficult to have an economy because why are there shops in Valheim? You're supposed to be proving your worth to the gods. You do that without a shop. So I think maybe instead of having a shop system, maybe an idea could possibly be, and I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but Valheim, like the theory of it, it's cool because it's got some like practical application from an economic standpoint. I like that.
Right.
It's kind of neat crossover. But Valheim might benefit from a system where, let's say you lack a certain material while you're crafting, and you're willing to give the game 1,000 gold pieces. and instead of having a shop, you're basically you could even frame it as make an offering to the gods to receive a blessing, right? I
Right.
mean, you could literally frame it that way. Here's 1,000 gold to Odin, and Odin's like, "Hey, you know what? You've worked really hard. I understand you're having a problem finding this item, so here you go." And now you have that one extra iron instead of having to go all the way back and farm. That one extra iron, now you can build your iron armor or your sword or whatever.
Right.
Something like that could definitely work and give players a reason to keep their gold. Because right now I'm to the point where I have 2 chests full of it, and I'm just like, I get it now, and I drop it on the ground. I'm pretty sure there's a pile of it outside my base. Look like a dragon, which would be another cool thing. You get 1,000,000 gold, you can buy a dragon that will hoard all of your gold for you.
One of the things that I thought was funny is I figured out how to do basements,
Mm-hmm.
and so now all of my chests are like down in the basement with
Yeah,
and it's behind a locked door and all of the other stuff. And
that's what I did when I was fighting the Wyvern Queen. I don't remember her name, but that's what I was doing when I was fighting her. There's like a little ruins where where mine would spawn, and I dug down under the ruins and put a portal there and,
Mhm.
and put a
And
treasure
made it
chest.
in not your own little room.
I did,
Yeah.
so that way I could like put different healing items and stuff in there, so I didn't have to like weigh myself down. It was really stupid, but it was kind of like it worked. It worked really well. And then I fought her because I figured out pretty quickly how to hurt her. And once you figure it out, she's really really easy. I was kind of disappointed for the 4th level boss or for the 4th boss. I was kind of meh.
What's funny is I
Bone mass
haven't
was way harder.
I got bone mass, and that's where I stopped.
Mm. Yeah, the Wyvern Queen, she's not hard, not at all. I mean, as long as you just keep moving in circles and dodging her attacks, like stay away from her. Don't get close to her, and she really won't hurt you. And there's so much stuff in the way because you're on a mountaintop, and there's just so much stuff to hide behind trees. And she doesn't walk through them, which is bizarre. She just stops. So there's ways around it. Yeah. Yep. Take range
Fire
shots.
arrows? Fire
Yeah,
arrows?
I believe it was fire arrows, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
which just kind of makes sense.
It's on my list of things to do, but like I said, I found an
You get
island.
trapped
I kind
building.
of I just got lost in like, okay, well, like I literally have a little sketch that I drew out, and like, okay,
Mhm.
this is the area of this that I need to do. So I right now I have the outer wall, and
Yeah.
then I've dug down and made the moat with the bridge for Skyrim, or not Skyrim, but for
Stormwind.
Stormwind.
Yeah.
And so now I'm working on the actual front structure to get that up.
Should be fun. All right. Well, I mean, we spent quite a lot of time talking about Valheim and all the other crazy stuff. So, pretty positive show, I'd say. I mean, altogether, all
Yeah.
things considered, I think
There
we
was
had a lot
one
of
thing that we
positivity.
did talk about there. I did mention at the top of the show that we haven't talked about yet.
What was that?
ScarJo being blacklisted
Oh, that's
from
right.
Disney.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So,
good on her.
because of the lawsuit, Disney has now canceled her where the production that they had where she was not only starring in but producing. They just went ahead and canceled the whole project. They have it to where like she is no good. I guess it's a good thing that they killed her off
Yeah.
in in
Spoilers.
yeah.
But yeah, if
Well,
you haven't seen it by now, if you weren't one
but
of the 8 billion people that watched it in a 7 billion population planet, we're getting close
but
to 8, I think so. But yeah,
so I guess it's a good thing they killed her off. But that is one thing. The that makes it hard though because they own so many properties.
yeah,
Fox, 20th Century now. They dropped the Fox.
yeah.
Um, they own, with all of the Lucasfilm and all of the other. So don't hold your breath for ScarJo appearing in Star Wars
Nope.
or Mandalorian or anything like
I
that.
do hear that there is a certain media company though that has a habit of picking up discarded Disney actresses.
Right,
So,
and that company is quite literally getting ready to produce a
burn.
revenge flick
Yep,
uh,
starring a
that
certain
talk
somebody. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
I think it'll be pretty cool.
Run hide shoot, or run, what was it?
Run,
Was
hide,
it run
fight.
hide? Run
Run,
hide
hide, fight.
fight.
Yep.
Was a pretty good. I liked that.
I was
I
actually
was
pretty
surprised.
impressed. I was more impressed with the campaign they had for it because when they were they didn't tell anybody who was producing it or making the movie. Instead, they released it on a promotional tour to several different outlets who reviewed it and talked about how wonderful it was. It was a great movie.
Yeah.
Vanity Fair, Esquire, all these different companies reviewed it, and then they found out that it was this particular company, and they were like, it's terrible and terrible,
Yeah.
and we didn't mean what we said. It was great. They had to stand by their review, and it was so fantastic. I was really impressed with the way they did that.
So, but the other people who were talking about bringing suits that were similar, they got from the outside. It looks like they got bought off
Mhm.
because there is now going to be Cruella 2.
Yeah.
There's going to be some other stuff going on, and on that note, the star of Shang Tzu blasted them because the CEO called the fire, the Shang Tzu and the, what is it, the Ten Rings.
The Ten Rings, yeah. Shang Tzu, yeah, Shang Tzu and the Ten Rings, yeah.
He called it their experiment. It was an all Asian cast. He was talking about it. They're experimenting in giving them 45 days theatrical only, and then after 45 days, it would be available on Disney Plus. So that was the experiment that they're doing.
Okay.
But the guy, the lead actor, fired back and said, "We are a proud culture, yada yada yada. We're not an experiment." Which
I mean,
I like. I know, like straight up, like,
good. But some of these actors and actresses need to start standing up to these companies. Period.
mm-hmm.
So there's a whole tangent I go on about that, but we've burnt enough time, and I don't want to end on a sour note. So
Right. So just to recap, we're
Tesla
gonna,
robots,
Tesla robots, uh, Netflix and WoW are
terrible.
hurting, whether or not they tell you that how much they're hurting or not. Fallout Worlds is pretty cool. Something that, like I said, I'm going to hop on the 4 and try to talk the wife into
Right.
allowing me to buy that game. She'll probably be like, "You already got it."
You already have it. I want to play.
ScarJo and Disney drama is not over, and Valheim Hearth and Home coming out is uh, fun. If you're not playing Valheim,
You need to get on there.
you need to go on.
It's you download the game. I think it's like $30, and it is amazing. These guys at Iron Gate are amazing, and
I just
and
have so much fun building stuff.
and
That's
it's such a
literally where I
small
get
studio.
lost.
There's like 15 of them, and they made this game, and it's fantastic, man. I can't.
Right.
I honestly can't heap enough praise on that game. The game's amazing. So get
Oh,
on there and
and
play.
if we can work it out, we have a card game that we are prototyping,
Yep.
and it is more of the adult beverage drinking games.
And that is something
Um,
I think we need to have an entire promo show about. We'll get together. We'll actually
right.
play that.
I have the production copy of
Hmm.
this and the first expansion coming in, and it'll be here at the beginning of October.
Yep. So lots of cool stuff coming from the Geek Public Radio guys. That'd be us. Don't forget to check out our other channels, to check out our other shows. This one, Geek Public Radio, we have Comic Book Guys, Criminal Fix, TikTok Reacts, previews, game reviews, all of those different things. So you guys can check all that stuff out. So don't forget to do that. If you like our content, obviously, as I said, smash the like button, click the bell, ring-a-ding-a-ding. And then consider a membership, $5 a month on geekpublicradio.com. So you guys have been awesome.
Have a great night, guys.
I was waiting for you to sign off. I was like, all right,
Oh,
peace.
no. Like, no, I was just like, peace. This is it has been a good show. So
I think so.
we will talk
Good,
to you
good, good
guys.
stuff. Good stuff.
We'll talk to you guys next week.